Well, we did it. Route 66 from Chicago to LA. 28 days, 4 adults, 1 dog, 1 cat, all in a Winnebago. This video documents our trip in the fall of 2021, and it shares some info and history that I hope you'll find entertaining and helpful too if you're planning a Route 66 trip yourself. Oh, and if you are planning a Route 66 trip, check out the link in the description to visiting66.com. I got a ton of free info on there to help you out, including a Google map with all the places that are in this video and like literally hundreds more things to do and see on Route 66. I think it'll be really handy for you. But this video is all about Route 66 in Arizona, so let's get to it. Soon after crossing the Arizona border, you'll come across Petrified Forest National Park. But we didn't stop there. Sorry. But you totally should. We've just been there a few times and we were short on time, so we had to get going. You can understand that, right? But we did stop at Stewart's Petrified wood shop, which unfortunately is a bit run down, but it's still there. They're still kicking. You can't take petrified wood from the national park, so that's why you gotta stop at Stewart's. They got all kinds of petrified wood items for sale for you, whatever your heart desires. They've even got ostriches on the property, and you can buy their eggs if you want. It's quite a place. Next up was the town of Holbrook, which for some reason has dinosaurs all over the place. Holbrook used to be a lawless Wild West town, so it's definitely worth making a stop at the Navajo County Museum, which is located in the old historic courthouse. You can see this really cool original jail cell from more than 100 years ago, and it still has some of the prisoners' artwork on the walls. And then we can't forget the absolute classic, the Wigwam Motel. So this was actually a chain built in the 1930s through the 50s. There were 7 of them, but only 3 exist now, but 2 of them are still on the route. The other one's in California, so we'll get there. And apparently the guy who made these just didn't like the word teepee, so we called them wigwams instead. And of course you can feel the inspiration from these for the Cozy Cone Motel in the Cars movie. And we didn't stay here because we had an RV, but these people were nice enough to let me take a peek inside. Basic, but nice. And they got Wi-Fi. Oh, and then down the road you'll see them. You can't miss them. You're gonna get excited for the world-famous Jackrabbit Trading Post. It's so fun. Their billboards just get you so amped up. You can't miss it. And then you finally get there, and there's the famous billboard. The Here It Is sign with the Jackrabbit. In fact, they pretty much exactly copied this in the Cars movie. And then when you get there, there's a giant fiberglass jackrabbit for you to sit on. It's a great little gift shop that you gotta stop and support. And they'll even paint a Jackrabbit sign just for you with exactly how many miles away your home is from the store. Next up is the town of Winslow, Arizona. And if that sounds familiar, that's because it's where the Eagles stood on the corner in their song Take It Easy. I can't play the song for you, but here's our rendition. Standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona, such a fine sight to see.
It's a low Ford, my lord, it's a flatbed Ford, singing out of the Bugatti. We're done.
Sorry about that. But it's pretty fun that the town embraces this. Word is that the guy who wrote the song was actually standing on a corner in Flagstaff, Arizona, but he figured Winslow sounded better. And just down the street from there is the world's smallest church. So they say. Down the road, it's hard to miss this geodesic dome. These are the remains of Meteor City, which used to be kind of a trading post thing. But I mention it because it looks like they're trying to bring it back and get some funding to reopen this place. So if in the future, any of you watching happen to go by and see this place and know what's going on, please hit me up and let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to see if it gets going again. And then we got some more remains, this time from a Wild West theme park called Two Guns. Not much of this is left, but you can still see part of the zoo where they held the mountain lions. And then we got some more ruins. This time is Twin Arrows Trading Post. You may recognize this one from Forrest Gump. And they also have the ruins of a Valentine diner, which we saw at the museum back in Oklahoma. Now that's cool. And you can't forget Winona. But there's not much here really, except for this Walnut Canyon Bridge, which is cool. And there's some actual old original roadbed too. Next up, we arrived to the town of Flagstaff, which is a fun little college, foresty brewery town. They've got a pretty good visitor center inside an old train depot, and they even offer a free walking tour, which was actually pretty decent. I'd recommend it. Narrated by Mr. Ted Danson himself. Oh, and look, there's even another Forrest Gump filming location in town. And then we get to another great little Route 66 town, Williams, Arizona. Williams is often referred to as the gateway to the Grand Canyon, but Williams is very proud of the fact that they are the last town on Route 66 to be bypassed by I-40. In town, you'll find Pete's Gas Station Museum, which has been very well restored, and they've got lots of old good retro gas station memorabilia to check out inside. Williams is also home to the world's largest steel Route 66 shield. And then, kind of fun for us Southern Californians, we got some hail and then even some snow in the morning when we stayed overnight in Williams and in the RV. Then we arrive at the quaint little town of Ashfork and check out this beauty shop called DeSoto's with a 1960 DeSoto sitting on the roof. You can also check out the Ashfork Historical Society's Route 66 Museum. There's a lot of these free volunteer-run museums along Route 66, so they're not the most professional, but they are fun to visit. And then in Seligman, it's another world's largest Route 66 sign. Oh yeah! Seligman's a small town. It's basically one street, but lined with a ton of Route 66 gift shops. And they've all got some uniqueness to them. Like this one that has a Motoporium inside, featuring some vintage cars and motorcycles. But the mightiness of Seligman comes from the man named Angel Delgadillo, often referred to as the guardian angel of Route 66. Angel was born on Route 66 just as it was being constructed, and he opened this barbershop in 1950. But when the Mother Road started to decline, he founded the historic Route 66 Association of Arizona, and he started selling Route 66 souvenirs in a gift shop, and also opened the Delgadillo Snowcap Drive-In, where you get a smiley face with your french fries. Heading out of town, be on the lookout for some Burma shave signs. So if you aren't familiar, this is just a famous classic advertising gimmick by Burma Shave, who sold shaving cream. And they were just these small red signs where they posted these sequential, funny, rhyming poems and always finish with the Burma Shave logo for you. These are just classic Route 66. Then we got the Hackberry General Store. This is a cool place. It's kind of like a living museum with their vintage gas pumps and the old signs, and you can see how this place has evolved over the years. And it's actually used to be owned by Bob Waldmeyer, who was actually the inspiration for Fillmore in the Cars movie, and whose nephew we met back in Illinois. And the kitsch continues down the road with a 14-foot tall sculpture called the Giganticus Headicus. Looks like Squidward's house to me. And they've also got a Herbie and some jokes around. Next, we get to the great town of Kingman, the heart of historic Route 66. We stop to check out the El Trovatore Motel because they actually have the world's largest Route 66 map painted along the whole motel. It's pretty cool. And word is Clark Gable, Marilyn Monroe, and even James Dean have stayed at the El Trovatore Motel in the past. And it's worth making a stop at the old Powerhouse because this is actually the visitor center and a Route 66 museum. But first off, they got a great big drive-through neon Route 66 shield in the front parking lot. It was a little tight for us in the motorhome though. And then one of the better Route 66 museums inside. It does a good job of going through kind of the historic evolution of Route 66. I liked it a lot. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the town of Oatman. So Oatman's a fun little gold rush tourist type town that's famous for their burros that just wander around the streets. But the road to Oatman is a little tough, especially when you're in a 40-foot long motorhome. It's steep with a lot of switchbacks, so we had to miss this one, unfortunately. So we went around the other way to Bullhead City and got ourselves some delicious coffee from Dutch Bros. And that wraps it up for Route 66 in Arizona. We did it! And oh my gosh, we're almost to the end. We have one state left, California, my home state. So go ahead, click the subscribe button if you'd like to know when that video comes out, because it's going to be a good one. And don't forget to check out visiting66.com. All the places that were in this video and more are saved in a Google map on there for you to get. So if you're doing your own Route 66 trip or want to visit any of these places, it's really easy to find them and get there. The map is what we used on our trip, and it was like the best resource. So that's all I got for you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in California.